Hello everybody, it's Ayanova. I am back again with another tutorial. Yay! These are some of my favorites to record, but they're also really tiring to edit, so... Anyways, today I'm going to be giving you a few pointers on how to turn your traditional art into digital art. You should start off with drawing a quick thumbnail of your idea so the final sketch can be as clean as possible. You want to minimize erasing so you don't have unwanted stray marks in your art, aka one and done. Once you're done with the final sketch, scan it up. Or if you don't have access to a scanner, you can just take a photo of it. Now, to maximize the quality of the photo, you should choose a nice sunny day when the sun is out and bright, and not a cloudy day like I did, which was really dumb of me. Find yourself a window. I learned this trick from a YouTube video like 500 years ago. You put your sketch at a 90-degree angle from the window, which looks like this. Make sure your paper is flat and there aren't any shadows. Make sure your flash is not on and take a picture of your sketch. Doing this maximizes light and minimizes dark shadows, which is what we want. Then just upload your photo to your computer and upload it to the paint program that you use. Okay, so the first thing you want to do after you upload your artwork is to find the saturation slider and turn the saturation all the way down to 0. This will help you see the line arc more clearly and get rid of unwanted color. Then you can go into the brightness slider and adjust the brightness to where you see the lines better, but it doesn't wash them out. I also cropped the picture, but you don't have to do this if you don't want to. Afterwards, go to extract the lines. All you do is move the 3 cursors to emphasize either lights, which would be the rightmost cursor, darks, the leftmost cursor, or mediums, the middle cursor. And this will make your lines sharper and your background transparent. I'm not sure what other programs have an extract lines feature, but this program that I use is Medibang or Medibang if you want to use that. Medibang is free, so download away. I'm sure you can find other programs with a similar feature though. Next, I'm going to show you 4 different ways to tackle the line art and how it interacts with your color. The first one I'll be showing you is using the traditional art with multiple color layers. This one requires you to put your color layers underneath the line art, so extract lines is mandatory here. This is just for the people who like to work with their colors in multiple layers like me. I like to have my hair and skin separate from each other because I do different things with them once I get into the highlight and shade stage. So go into your first layer and lay down whatever color you want wherever you want. And then go to your second layer and lay down whatever color there. For me, the skin layer goes under the hair layer since the hair is covering the skin. If you want, you can keep it like that, but I sometimes like to, I like the lines and the colors to blend in together. To do that, you have to select your line layer, and at the top of the layer window there will be a drop down list with an overlay option. Select that. See, now your line art blends in with the color. The next one I'll be showing you is using the traditional art with only one color layer. This is for the people that either can't or don't want to use extract lines. You'll have to put the color layer above the line art layer, otherwise the color layer won't show. And I'll show you here what'll happen if you try to put multiple layers above the line art with the overlay technique. See, you end up having all the 2 colors interacting with each other. It'll be a pain to go in and erase everything. I personally need that overlap to make sure there are no gaps in the color. So your colors have to be on one layer and then put that layer on overlay. Again, if you want the blended line art I showed you before, you'll have to select the color layer and put the blending on heart-like. Then you'll get a similar effect. Also, random tip, play around with the blending effects, overlay, highlight, etc. It's fun to play with them and you can create some really awesome effects. Alright, the third way is if you feel like you need to touch up some lines in your line art first. This is handy if you lost some line clarity in the first steps or you just want to make your line work darker. You should find a brush that is similar to the texture of your line work and make sure it has some transparency by lowering the opacity of the brush. I used the Fluffy Watercolor 3 brush, which I had to download from the cloud in Medibang. You could either add a new layer or just draw on the original line art layer for this. I didn't really have much about my original line work that I felt needed to be touched up, so I just went in and like did a line here and there. Once you're content, just merge your touch-ups with your original line work, if you put on a different layer that is, and do the same thing that you did before to blend in the lines with the color. Either put your line art layer on overlay if your color is underneath the line art, or put your color layer on hard light if your color is above the line art. Last but certainly not least, this is the one that I usually do with my artwork, that is to trace your line work. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, well, doesn't that kind of defeat the purpose of drawing the traditional art in the first place? No, not at all, you're wrong. It can actually be very useful if you use it right. Whenever I just draw straight on the digital canvas, even if I sketch first, my art always ends up being more stiff and less dynamic. This is just because most people grow up drawing on paper first, and I have worked traditionally for decades. I mean, I'm only 23, but I can still say that. Not to mention the fact that it's just more natural to draw with pencil on paper than plastic thingy on another plastic thingy. I found that my traditional art just looks much better. So I started using my traditional art as a sketch for my digital art, so I can get the skill and style from my traditional art with the clean attractiveness of my digital art. And you should do this too. I mean, like, if you want. And of course, doing this gets rid of the need to force myself to use only one layer, so I can put the color layers anywhere I want and mess around with the blending settings. And to get the blended art look here, put your line art on either soft light or overlay if you have the color layer underneath, or put the color layer on hard light if you have the color layer above. Okay, lastly, we're going to talk about how to clean the background of the sketch. If you can see, there are a bunch of random pencil markings around my lady here, and it looks kind of dingy. You might not get this, but most likely you will. Extract lines, unfortunately, couldn't tell that those lines aren't ones I want to stay, so I'll have to take the time to clean up the work a bit. If you went with the digital line art route, you can skip this by deleting or hiding the sketch layer. Although if you want it, you technically could keep both the digital and traditional line art. Okay, so the first thing I'll show you here is the magic wand tool. Medibang's magic wand isn't as versatile as some other paint programs and can cause some problems. So if you want to use the magic wand tool, I might opt out for graphic design or photo editing software with a better one, because using the magic wand here would be tedious as heck. You could just go in with the eraser as well, but that would end up being very tedious too. I personally hate wasting so much time on stuff like this, but fear not, my babies. I have another way. If you've been following this tutorial step by step, you should have already put down all your colors. If not, do that now because it's necessary for the step. A way easier way to approach cleaning the background of a sketch is just to hide the line art layer, select the magic wand tool, and put the reference on canvas if you use multiple layers. Go to the color layer, click on the blank area, and just go in with a giant eraser and erase everything on the sketch layer. Now you can do whatever you want with the background, like color it in or put a line or put an actual picture in the back, whatever. Yay! And those are some tips to turn your traditional art into digital art. Go test it out if you haven't already, and I hope this was helpful. I'll be finishing this piece in a different video, so subscribe if you want to see that. Thank you guys so much. Bye!